You know, to me, this was a tough guy, and boy, did he hang in there, and he took tremendous punishment to get coming back.
I knew I wasn't going to be able to outpower him because my first time coming up to 200. So I knew I had to use the gifts I got getting. Speed, power, movement, point selection, and IQ. That's exactly what I did.
Got all out. He's on his way now to
I just want to give him a nice opportunity now. Let's see how
God damn, I'm gonna get fucked up, baby. The best fights I've ever seen in my life. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I'm getting loaded.
What are your thoughts on the fight?
They call him the Mexican monster for a reason.
That was crazy. Were you expecting that?
I was expecting Zurdo to be able to go to 12 because Zurdo has never been stopped before. Or not that I remember him, but he's been stopped before. But he's tough, But I mean, David's much stronger cruiser than he was at 175 and 168. Like much stronger. You can see in his speed, and he's not killing himself. You can tell.
Were you impressed that Ramirez came back after the fourth round? It looked like it was over.
Honestly, I mean, he's a warrior. Bro. I mean, the year coming, he got hurt.
I'm just very happy with this, and I just want to keep fighting against the best in the world and keep cementing my greatness. Everybody doubts me over and over and over and over again, but that's what I like. I like when people doubt me because then I get to come in here and show you guys what I'm really made of. So I just want to tell you thank you so much. I love every single one of you, and this is a blessing just to be here with you guys. So thank you so much. I feel that I'm really starting to come into my own. Everything I speak, I do. You know what I mean? I said I was going to beat David Morrell. I said I was going to beat Caleb Plant. I said I was going to beat Yard. I said I was going to beat Zurdo Ramirez. So I'm just getting, a lot of confidence in myself. And back then I thought it was a dream that I could become a great. And now I know for sure that this is my destiny. And I'm just very, very happy that I'm able to have this type of performance in Cinco de Mayo in the United States. My last fight was in Saudi Arabia. I had a great performance out there too. And it's just, just a blessing to be able to follow it up with this type of performance in the United States on Cinco de Mayo.
For Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, watching a former world champion, once viewed as nearly untouchable, being carried out of the T-Mobile Arena on a stretcher was a moment that left a lasting impression. The flashing emergency lights, the stunned silence from the crowd, and the overwhelming sense of concern created a scene that felt almost unreal. But what if the real story wasn't the knockout itself? What if the fight had already been lost long before the opening bell rang? Away from the cameras, inside training camps, and throughout the pressure-packed fight week, something deeper appeared to be unfolding. A quiet mental battle may have already been slipping out of reach. Ladies and gentlemen,
Big 6-round KO from David Benavidez versus Zurdo Ramirez. Cinco de Mayo weekend. Definitely a great fight. But wow. David Benavidez knocks down Zurdo Ramirez in the 4th round. And then continuously, throwing crazy combinations. I mean, I'm talking about 6-piece combinations, real close range. Zurdo Ramirez came into the fight strong, came in there with his front foot. He came in there pressing the action, but David Benavidez's speed combinations was just way too much. Shout out to Zurdo Ramirez. Hell of a chin on him, man. I mean, I'm telling you, he took so many big shots. David Benavidez ended up closing his eye, and he really just couldn't take any more. But big shout outs to, Hyman Munguia as well, beating Resendiz for the WBA title. And now you have David Benavidez, a 3-division champion. I mean, what's next? We seen Canelo Alvarez in the building for Hyman Munguia, but was nowhere to be found on the main event. David Benavidez called them out, let everybody know, listening to fans, do you want this fight? He's calling out Monstro. The fans are calling out Monstro. It was definitely a great performance.
as fight week unfolded and anticipation continued to build for his showdown against one of boxing's most feared competitors, Ramirez made a surprising confession. During media appearances, where fighters typically project confidence and insist they are at their absolute best, he openly admitted that he might only have 1 or 2 fights left before ending his career.
And I know that you mentioned you are thinking of only fighting 2 more times. With that being said, what is your really dream matchup in the sport of boxing before you retire?
I don't know. Let's find out. But I have this Saturday, this coming fight Saturday, and then who knows?
Yeah. And lastly, what can fans expect Saturday night, and what do you really want your legacy to be when it's all said and done one day?
They have to expect a war. It will be a war this fight, and I will raise my hand with my belt for the winner.
What about the legacy?
My legacy, I already have legacy, and probably I will do more.
Completely. Well, thank you so much.
Talking about retirement while preparing for a massive Cinco de Mayo showdown is rarely a positive sign. At the highest level of competition, a fighter needs complete focus on the challenge directly in front of them. You cannot step into a battle while already imagining life after it is over. The sharp mindset, urgency, and survival instinct required for elite competition seemed noticeably absent. Even while preparing for the fight, part of his attention appeared to be focused on the exit door rather than the task at hand.
And it was the way that David Benavidez beat Gilberto Ramirez tonight. You know, Terrence versus Canelo, that was his own masterclass. Shakur versus Tio, you know, Inoue beat Nakatani, Usyk and Fury, all really good performances, don't get me wrong, but that's what the fuck I'm talking about. What David Benavidez just did to Gilberto Ramirez. I said in the breakdown after the weigh-in that yesterday, expect some James Toney-like stuff from David Benavidez. I didn't think he'd dispatch of him in 6 rounds. This was his best performance yet. I think the pacing he had in this fight was brilliant. Knowing he was up in weight, he didn't throw too many punches too early, and he relied on his defense a lot. Did some good James Toney-like defense, paced himself, found his jab, and then the hand speed ringside was absolutely insane. I mean, he's one of the fastest fighters in boxing of any weight class, but to have hand speed like that at 200 pounds, the dexterity on the punches, he hurts Zurdo by switching southpaw in the 4th round, hits him with a straight left hand, then follows it up with ridiculous combinations. I mean, electrifying stuff, you know, like Sugar Ray Leonard, Oscar De La Hoya type fucking combinations. And eventually drops him with the right hand, hitting him with every punch in the book. The left hook in the inside was money, and just puts together some beautiful offense. He is one of the most offensively prolific fighters in the game.
The contrast between both camps became increasingly obvious. While his opponent was locked in, motivated, and training with relentless intensity, Ramirez appeared to be mentally drifting toward a future beyond boxing. It felt as though he was already picturing a quieter life, far removed from brutal training sessions and endless sparring rounds. In a sport where even the smallest lapse in focus can be costly, that subtle shift in mentality can leave any fighter vulnerable.
And the fans like what they came to see. So, you know, there was a lot of talk this week about, is he really a real Mexican and all that stuff. Look, Julio Cesar Chavez was on the fence about it when I asked him back in Thursday after the press conference. I don't think he's on the fence now. He hugged David Benavidez in the ring right after the fight. So this kid has a chance. This man has a chance to be the best Mexican-American fighter since Oscar De La Hoya. He's that good. He has that kind of scintillating hand speed like Oscar had in combination punching. But Zurdo, he tried to give, and I said before the fight, Zurdo was accepting his role as a supporting actor, and that's exactly what he did in this fight. He tried to give David his own medicine in rounds 2 and 3 and had some success doing it. He gave David some of his own medicine. He pressured him, he pressed him as the bigger man, tried to take away some of his range, but unfortunately for him, David Benavidez is an excellent inside fighter. And whenever he wanted to, he would pick his spots with combinations. The short left hook couldn't miss. There was times, even on the inside, he would find the dexterity to hit him with a power jab. So, and people always talk about David squaring his feet up, but he makes it work for him in a way that's very creative and dynamic. And that's why he even went as far as switching southpaw a couple times. So then into the 6th round, Benavidez, after dropping him in the fourth, went back to pacing himself. I think this was the best he ever paced himself in a fight, better than David Morrell or Caleb Plant or any of those fights. And part of it was he had a much more stationary target in front of him. Guys like Vosdick, guys like Morrell, Yard, Plant, even Andre, who he knocked out in the same amount of rounds. These guys all...
Inside the ring, reality arrived quickly and without sympathy. From the opening moments, David Benavidez was not simply looking for a victory. He was determined to systematically break his opponent down. His hand speed was relentless, his pressure never stopped, and his punch output seemed almost impossible to keep up with. As the rounds passed, what began as a competitive fight slowly transformed into a one-sided dismantling. Over 6 grueling rounds, Ramirez looked increasingly unable to withstand the punishment. Every explosive combination from the Mexican's star chipped away at whatever resistance remained. It wasn't just the power that caused problems, it was the non-stop pressure coming from every angle. Benavidez trapped him against the ropes, unloading hooks and uppercuts with bad intentions. There were no effective adjustments available and no clear path back into the fight. The domination became impossible to ignore. By the time the crushing shot landed in the 6th round, any remaining sense of competition had vanished. The former cruiserweight champion wasn't merely beaten, he had been completely overwhelmed.
I'm just very happy with this. I worked my ass off for this camp. I trained 5 months in training camp for this because I knew Zurdo Ramirez was a warrior, and I knew that he was not going to let go of his titles willingly. So, you know, I knew the risks. I knew what I was capable of. I went up there, I told everybody that I wanted to stop Zurdo Ramirez, and that's exactly what I did. And here I am, and I'm just very happy with this, and I just want to keep fighting against the best in the world and keep cementing my greatness. You know, everybody doubts me over and over and over and over again, but that's what I like. You know, I like when people doubt me because then I get to come in here and show you guys what I'm really made of. So I just want to tell you thank you so much. I love every single one of you, and this is a blessing just to be here with you guys. So thank you so much.
The instant the referee stepped in and waved off the contest, the atmosphere changed dramatically. What should have been a routine post-fight celebration quickly turned into a scene of concern. Videos spread across social media showing medical personnel rushing into the ring with urgency. Cameras focused on a tense corner as medics worked rapidly to assess the situation. The crowd, once loud and energetic, suddenly became quiet as worry filled the arena. Seeing Zurdo secured onto a stretcher and transported swiftly to a nearby hospital shifted everyone's attention. At that point, it was no longer about who won the fight. It had become a serious medical situation.
Just something, Steve Powell movement, post election, and I that's exactly what I did. Got to go around. I just want to get ¿estás bien? ¿Todo bien? Todo bien, nomás mucho no. Start moving back, moving back.
A heavy silence settled over the audience as the brutal reality of boxing revealed itself once again. Losing a fight or surrendering a championship belt is difficult enough. But watching a fighter reach a point where their body can no longer withstand the pressure of a younger, hungrier, and more determined opponent is an entirely different level of concern.
Benavidez. David Benavidez is fucking special. David Benavidez is everything you want in a fighter. You talking speed, aggression, defense. And think about his defense, right? He's not moving around the ring. He stands right there in front of you. And he's willing to take a shot. He's gonna block some shot, but he's willing to take a shot. And he's gonna shoot his load every time. Combinations, power. Just utter savagery. Oh my God. This guy is so special. Such a beautiful fighter to watch. It's like watching Picasso. The ring is this man's canvas. What he just did to Zurdo Ramirez was special. But if you watch Zurdo throughout his career, you knew what was going to happen. Like, if you really watched the two fighters, you knew what was going to happen. I never rated Zurdo that high. Respectable fighter. But I never thought he was that good. Resume was a little inflated. You look at his resume, like, as far as top guys or names, like, who did he really fight? What does he really bring to the table? When you watch Benavidez, you know, you see it. You see who he fought. You see what he does to fighters. I say that to say, if you watch these two, you knew what the outcome was. And it proved to be true. David fucking Benavidez. Take a bow, young man. Take a bow.
Many dedicated boxing fans felt they saw this coming long before fight night arrived. In the days leading up to the event, online forums and discussion threads were filled with reactions to Ramirez's comments and overall mindset. His pre-fight interviews sparked criticism, with many viewers believing the warning signs were impossible to miss. Some fans even encouraged bettors to heavily favor Benavidez, arguing that any fighter openly discussing retirement before a major fight is already facing an uphill battle mentally. Hardcore boxing followers understand an uncomfortable truth. Once a fighter begins thinking seriously about life after boxing, it can be a dangerous signal. What's remarkable is how accurately so many fans seem to read his mental state simply through interviews and appearances. They weren't just predicting a loss, they were expecting complete domination.
Beautiful. It was, look, I mean, that's the way I called it, is the buzzsaw of Benavidez, punches and bunches. And the only shot that Zurdo had was kind of, throw a punch right in the center. So obviously the speed was too much. Benavidez was too much. The monster's here for a long time, so very proud of him. But the whole night from top to bottom was excellent. Probably one of the best cards we've ever put.
Absolutely. What do you think is next for Benavidez? What would you like to see? I thought we couldn't hear back here, but maybe he was talking about b-ball. Is that something that looks like is coming up next?
He's got many options. He's got many options. So I think right now he is the man at that weight class. So whoever's going to fight him has to wait in line, because there's several fighters like b-ball, like all the top guys. So including just all the world champions. But Benavidez right now is the man.